Hey guys, welcome to another one of our reviews. I'm the Worm, this is the Proton. Today we're going to be doing a review of a newish device, but it's already been out on the market. It's just a kind of a new take on it from Boge. We did get this free of charge from VapeGear.co.uk. It's very, very much to Keith and Kirsty for sending this down. Mainly Kirsty as always. Sorry Keith. This will not affect our review in any way, shape or form. It will just be a true nice review as always.
Indeed. What we are doing today is the Boge MT3 EVOD.
So you say why it's new to Boge, but it's on the market previously with just a new take on it.
Indeed. Yeah, there you go. Should we get some of the nitty gritty out of the way first?
Yeah, go on.
Nitty gritty out of the way first. $3.99 for this Boge. We call it Boge EVOD. Exactly the same stats as a real EVOD, or the normal EVOD, the Kangaroo EVOD, should we call it. 1.6mm capacity, clear miser obviously guys, replacement head system,
bottom
so
coil.
on and so forth. Bottom coil, there you go, from VapeGear, always.
We'll do a quick little, not a proper close up, but just a little up close sort of thing. It's basically exactly the same guys, sorry I'm going to just show it. It's yeah, like that. Basically you got your bottom coil. I've been using this for a few days just to obviously give it a run through, so this is like half full at the moment. But you basically pull it out like that, you can keep your juice in there, change your head if it breaks, and back in. And obviously with filling guys, just going to put my bottom bit down there, you can see down the tube there you've got a little centre tube. You don't want to be putting it into that, you want to be dripping down the side of that, and you literally just put your nozzle head down the side like that and just drip into it until it's full. And then you just slop your bottom back on. And again it's the same thing, if you're replacing the bottom coil in there, you just unscrew it from the base, screw a new one in and pop it back on and you're good to go.
Indeed.
And not going to waste any juice, so same as the other EVODs.
There you go. I mean, to be honest with you guys, is well, one sec. This is a Kangaroo EVOD. This is a Boge EVOD, and well, there's no difference whatsoever, to be honest with you. There's absolutely no difference. But to be honest with you, we rate the EVODs very highly, the Kangaroo EVODs anyway, and this is what, £2 cheaper? Yeah. There you go.
And the replacement heads are only £1 on this.
They are 99p for a replacement head. A very good price from Keith and Kirsty. I mean, it's always a good price for Keith and Kirsty, but for heads that, I mean, usually they're 180 and you think that was quite cheap. So for 99p, if you're using their replacement heads, can't really go wrong. Yeah. Same as the EVOD though guys, completely rebuildable, the heads. If you wanted to take it out and give it a little rebuild yourself, then there you go. I mean,
we've actually tried meshing this as well and it works as well. So
meshed, cotton, loads and loads of stuff. They've got options if you want to explore them.
I've been using this on the winder for best part of a week now. You can't actually get this colour at the moment from VapeGear, but you can get black, but they are eventually going to be probably getting the other colours in. So, but I've been using it on a winder just so you can get it from the same place, and obviously you're getting the same sort of review, so you can pick up both at the same place. The
winder's $17.49 from VapeGear, and that EVOD is $3.99. Couple of replacement heads is a couple of quid, so what we call in that?
That's about 25 quid.
25 quid, the little free delivery as well, so sort of 25 quid you can have yourself.
Yeah, it's now £20 for free delivery, not a tenner, so they've gone up slightly, but generally when you're ordering vape stuff, you don't normally buy £10 worth of stuff, you normally buy like 30, 40.
Okay.
If you're talking about us, 120, 180.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever spent £10 on anything. It's always over that, but 20 quid free delivery guys. It's the same delivery service you was getting for when you spent over a tenner before, but we've never had it not be there the next day from VapeGear.
As long as it's ordered before, they're obviously their cut-off time, so just be aware, make sure you check it before the cut-off time.
I did read somewhere as well that someone ordered from VapeGear. Keith and Kirsty, I know you're going to watch this, so let us know if this is true, but someone ordered from VapeGear. I believe they were fairly close, and actually delivered to them by hand that night. I read that somewhere, I can't remember where, but that's awesome. So yeah, that's really, really good. Show me that live closer. But yeah,
I've been using this on the winder, which is like so you can get from there. For the best part of a week, I used it over my K fun and everything, and it satisfies me to no end. It wasn't what I expect from my personal vaping gear, but I've got higher end stuff. But I used it all day at work. When I got home, gave it a good trial run, and it stacks up to the EVOD, the actual Kangaroo EVOD. To be honest, when the coil was fresh, I was actually getting slightly better flavour. I don't know whether it was just the coil was wrapped slightly better. We have found with like Boge stuff, especially their cartos, we haven't had a bad one. They seem to take really good care in like their actual like coils and everything like that. So
we did check the heads against the EVOD. By check, we held them side by side, had a little look. We believe they're completely cross comparable. So even if you're using an EVOD, get your heads from VapeGear. You'll be absolutely fine. To be honest, it's costing you a lot less. But it comes with a 2 to 2.4 ohm head in it, and to be honest with you guys, it's designed for this kind of setup. It's designed for a twist or an ego battery, and the bottom core stuff needs to be run lower. So even if you're just using a standard plain ego 3.7 volt on a 2.4 head, well, it's a 2 to 2.4, but that kind of
this is a 2.2 one. This one was.
There you go.
When I started using it, I say, but they
go up slightly.
They go up and down.
But in that kind of ohm range on a 3.7 volt battery, you can be absolutely fine. So even if you're just using a little ego, this will satisfy as is. I'm actually going to have a little vape of this because I haven't actually used it that much.
I will go you through a little bit of the like what I found using it over like a pretty much a week period that I used it mainly at work, but I did use it for a couple of days all day even when I was at home until I actually needed a proper vape. Normally later at night when I went before I was going to bed, I needed like something to hit me a bit harder. But I found with this we haven't previously run an EVOD for like a week straight and probably gave it a run through. This one I did, and I found like when the tank is full, I could run it a lot higher because the juice was like pushing down a little bit more. But when I got to lower ends of the tank, because obviously it was struggling to keep up with the higher voltage, I just had to turn it down like 1 or 2 notches just to get it to the same vape. It just wasn't as hot, but it was not giving me any dry hits. I mean, I'm not saying you will get dry hits, but it's just like I like to run it a little bit higher. Not as high as Mr. Proton, but I do like to run it so it's like a warm vape. So I was running this. Bottom cores, just bear in mind, you do need to run them a lot lower than what you think. And I know it sounds stupid when you go, yeah, 2.4 ohm on 3.7 is just, no, it should be about 4 volts or 4.2. But no, with this I've been running it on 4 pretty much steady when it's like full tank, perfect. When it gets to, I'd say the lower third, maybe a bit below that, you need to turn it down to about 3.8-ish, just so I'm not getting any dry hits. But other than that, that was the only tweaking I had to do with it. But if you're running on 3.7 all day, you're not even going to have to do anything. So, but that was the only like tweaking that I had to do with it. But that's only because I run at a higher voltage than standard vapors out there. I mean, he runs it a lot higher than even me.
Not with the EVODs though. EVODs I'll typically tend to sit lower because the flavour's better. I'll tend with a 2.4 ohm head in an EVOD. I won't ever go above 4. And I found that when I do, again this is with a Kangaroo, but when I do really ramp it up, when I put my own build in there and it can take the more pressure, increasing the voltage doesn't really give you any more flavour or vapour, but it does increase flooding. Again, it's my own built head, and usually it's mesh, and it wicks absolutely fine until you push it up to like 5.6 volts. But that's what I found with it anyway. But in general, we've had a little vape on this, and again, we do love EVODs. We recommend EVODs over anything else at the minute, just purely because they work really well. And obviously, this is Boge's take, and we love Boge. So,
yeah, I've had no issues with flooding or coming out by the battery. None of that. I mean, I did have a slight issue where I'd turn it down a little bit too low, just because I was getting slightly better flavour, but because for whatever reason it was only going into the chamber, so I was only getting a gurgle. It wasn't like flooding; it was just a gurgle. And then like you just turn it up a little bit and you was good to go again, and that was it. But you got to expect that when you vape at to a lower voltage. But that's only because I was testing all the ranges, trying to give it a good run through of what you can and can't do with it. And turn it too low will give you a slight gurgle, but as soon as you get the gurgle, just turn it up a little bit, a couple of vapes, and you're all good again.
There you go. My expectation for this product, or this ATI clearomizer, whatever you want to call it, is if it can match an EVOD, in my book, they've done pretty much as good a job as they can do, because an EVOD is a very, very good clearo, especially when you consider the fact that this is £150, £2 cheaper than an EVOD, and the heads are less than half the price for VapeGear as well. But what should we do? Should we go to a little 5-point hit? Yeah, we'll go to a 5-point hit list just purely because we do. It's what we do and how we roll.
It looks on this thing, it looks like the other EVOD, so it's going to get exactly the same arch, which is like a 9.5 depending on your looks preference. So yeah, it's a very good looking little clearomizer. Yeah,
looks, I'm going to give it a 9. It's good to match with Ego batteries. It's a simple all day setup. You can use it here, there and everywhere, and unlike some of the other clearomizers, this satisfies me anyway when I'm out and about doing my day-to-day stuff and I've only got a minimal space or a lanyard or something. Yeah. Good for that. Very good for that.
Usability. one of the easiest clearomisers you can use, mainly because of that bottom coil system. You can pull it out, put a new coil without having to waste any juice that's in there, and you're good to go again. So yeah, usability on this, you fill it, change the coil when you need to if you're just using it as a replaceable system. If you're rebuilding, obviously that's another take, but it's not meant for that, so I'm not bringing that into equation. Just wanted to say it's a little bit lower if you are doing it that way, but replacing the coil takes 5 seconds. You literally unscrew the bottom, unscrew the A, new A goes in, back in the bottom. It's done. So usability on this is it's a 10.
Usability for me, just add juice. It's as simple as that. It's just add juice to it, and then change the head when it needs to be. It doesn't actually get any easier, barring possibly a cig-alike with pre-fill cartridges, and they're shit. So yeah, usability is going to get a 10. It can't be anything other than a 10. It's very, very usable, this thing.
Maintenance. Drying it out after you've cleaned it is a little bit, you kind of have to drip dry or get the tissue right in there. So that gives it a slight knot, but it's not major. It's like 0.5 of a drop on that. But literally just wash it, change the head. When it dies, you're good to go again, fill it with juice. So 9.5.
Maintenance, I'm going to give it a 9. Yeah, it's just rinse it out and you're away again. The only issue is that you, as Boge just pointed out, you can't rinse water straight through it, and you can't get anything in there to dry it. But to be honest with you guys, at £4 a pop, you might as well buy 2 or 3. Use them on a rotation. It's very easy, very hassle-free vaping with this kind of setup.
Flavour and vapour of this. The flavour of this is actually exactly the same as EVOD. It's a 9. It just does, it produces the flavour. As long as you get that voltage at the right setting, it's exactly the same. I did notice at the beginning there was a slight better quality, but after you bed in the coil, it's exactly the same. So that's what you're going to be aiming for, is the bedded coil. So yeah, 9. And for the amount of vape you get, it's exactly the same again. It's like a 9 to 10, depending on how high you've got the voltage and that, and you're going to get more vapour or less vapour. So
flavour and vapour. Overall 8 for flavour and vapour, same as an EVOD. In its class, 10s. Both of them are 10s. An EVOD is a wicked little Clearo. The Boge EVOD's just as good, and they look exactly the same. It's just exactly the same. But yeah, overall for me, in their class, if you like, 10. They're not going to touch a rebuildable, but then you're not having to rebuild. You're not spending the money rebuildable costs, and you're not living with the day-to-day hassle that having a rebuildable can bring. Yes, flavour and vapour, definite 10s for me. They're very, very nice.
Overall on this, it's the same as EVOD. If you're a Clearomizer vapor, this is a 10 hands down. If you're looking in like the whole vaping scale, you're sitting around about an 8 because of just, I mean, yes, it does not produce the amount of flavour and vapour you get from higher end devices, but because it's so easy to use, it brings a mark back right in there to compete with them, because you haven't got the re-wicking or any of that rubbish and tweaking and tossing about. It just is it's an 8 overall sort of thing, but in its class, 10.
For me, overall, it's hard to give it a number overall, because you're comparing, I mean, in my head, when I say overall, I'm thinking about all the vaping stuff, I'm comparing it to just even what I own, and you're going from a £4 Clearo to a £100 Atty, and it's hard to compare those devices. But what I will say is that this will satisfy me all day, no problem whatsoever, even compared to big £100 devices. In its class, I'm going to disagree slightly. I think it's better than an EVOD. If nothing else, it's cheaper. It's as simple as that. It looks exactly the same, the cores are exactly the same, the setup, the tank, everything's exactly the same as it is from Kanga with Boge, but you're paying up to £2 less for the actual Clearo itself, and the replacement heads are £1. I think that's really, really, really cool that they've got them on there for £1. Main reason being is that we know roughly what these heads cost to buy, depending on how many you're buying. And there is a markup on there for these sites that are selling for £2.50. We can tell you that for nothing, a big one. So having them out there for £1, it's nice that you only need one a week. Do you know what I mean? It's costing you £1 a week for an 80 head, a couple of quid for juice. This is a kind of device that brings people onto vaping, and I've got a soft
cheap
spot.
as chips, but works.
Yeah, I've got a soft spot for these kind of devices, this kind of setup in general, to be honest with you.
Well, this is how we started. This is very similar to this device.
Yes, Clearomizer and a battery that then evolved into a variable voltage ego and different Clearomizers and so on and so forth. But I've two reasons. One, this stuff works and it gets people off of cigarettes, and I love the fact that it does that. But the other part of me is if you are looking at buying one of these, I'm so jealous of what you've got to come, because you've got it all to come. You've got so much to explore, and I like this kind of device because it gets you in that door, and then you fall straight down them stairs as soon as you're in there. But I like this kind of device, I really do. So yeah, good stuff. Definitely recommend this, guys, and definitely obviously recommend VapeGear. We've said this countless times before.
We do love VapeGear. They always treat us right. Their postal services are excellent. Their actual customer service is excellent. I have seen a few comments on there before which says that they have like kind of bad comments. It's just like, are you talking about the right company? Did you put in the right web address? Seriously?
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I think I know what comment one I was referring to. Yeah. One of the reviews for one of the devices, someone's left a snotty comment. Well, they
ignore it.
They can't say it, but we can say it. Screw you! No, VapeGear have always done us and everyone else that we've spoken to a good turn. So we can't really say anything bad about them at all, even if we wanted to, which we don't. Obviously, love you. But yeah. But yeah, no, it's very good, very good. Quite enjoyed this. Definitely recommend it, guys. Even if you're an experienced vaper and you just want something to kick around with for £4, you really can't go wrong. Wicked stuff.
Yeah, I think we're done.
I think we are done. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I've been Mr. Prozon. It's been a worm.
See you soon.
Kirsty. See you soon.
All things to first.
Okay, yes.
Bye. Ta-da.